Good turnaround Tuesday, Warriors. Who's ready? Maybe we'll have a reversal. I have a candidate. Hello, RC. How are you? Mike, hi, Blake. Blake, did you see the question RC had? Hi,
Yeah, just sitting
James.
down now. I'm gonna respond to him. Thank you.
Okay, buddy. AJ. Uh, yeah. Bran. Wrestle. No. Shotokan. Ryan. Glenn's ready. Marcus. Laura. All right. Stop Hunt Canada. I shorted it. I'll get to Ryan in a minute, but it looked like a stop hunt to me. Okay. They took out this double top. Everyone that had their stop in over 59, that was the high here, the high here, they're gone. And the market's 20 pips underneath their stop. Okay. So you have a lead going into it. Uh, this was the major reason. Okay. And we'll see what it turns into. And I just wanted to touch on Bitcoin because I'm going to be timing a market top with Bitcoin objective being achieved. Wow, it's given plenty back. So maybe the market will too. That's okay. There's no divergences up there on the 4 hour. Longer TFs there are. But, when it came out of, you could call it either the cup and handle or, I called it bull flag, one of the biggest bull flags in history. And I don't know, uh, probably a flag from a country, um, maybe it's a Lithuanian flag or something. Anyway, this measures up to 115 because you just take this move from here. And we were here at ForexAnalytix talking about the breakout of this before it happened. Okay, so I'm figuring at Bitcoin is the poster child right now for speculation and liquidity. And at targets in Bitcoin, I'd start looking around for shorts in the market. So I don't know if the market's going to look as powerful, but um, I still want to wait for 6,100. I might regret it. I mean, this is the S&Ps, okay? Uh, I can't do anything because of the 4 hour. See that? So what I need is some type of pullback and then another run where it doesn't confirm. But on the larger time frames, it looks kind of dangerous. Okay. I mean, the daily is diverging from this high all the way back from the July high. Okay. And the weekly RSI structure looks even uglier because, you've had a couple of divergences here at new highs. We're not over 70 on the weekly, and that's not you know, that's saying momentum on this last run that we had really isn't that good. I also read Jim's Welsh's letter, who Blake talks to every week, and there is some divergence. Breadth is not confirming yet. If we had some, more powerful updates, that maybe it could, but it's pretty weak. The breadth on this, what happened after the election, and don't forget that Katie Stockman also called it a potential buyer's climax, just like you could have a seller's climax. And you know how we like climaxes, right? So keep an eye on, keep an eye on that, and let's bring in the crew. Um, First of all, Stelios is here. So here's a great example of a decisive trader because Stel said if Trump gets elected, I'm getting out of everything.
I actually said I'm going to panic sell everything.
Oh, did you say panic sell? Well, it really wasn't. It was a good sell, right? probably got out over 32,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, if you want it, you could buy it near 30. So, that was decisive, and, you knew what you were going to do based upon a result, and it was correct. So, you've traded it well on the upside, and you protected yourself very well into this major event. So I tip my hat to you, even though I
Well,
don't wear one.
well,
I,
thank you. But you have to, especially with silver, it's so volatile and so wacky moves, right? You have to take profits. You have to, well, that's what I do. I take scale in and out. People in the chat room will know if they follow me that I keep doing that. And even when things look, remember like 2, 3 weeks ago, right? Everybody was talking about 5,000 gold and $100
yeah,
silver, whatever. You know that this is not going to go in a straight line. It's very different to Bitcoin. Bitcoin just goes. But this doesn't. So you have to, in my opinion, scale in and out. And like you said, you have a view, you have a plan, and you stick with it. And then, of course, afterwards, if the plan goes well, great. If not, you try to figure out why it didn't go well, what went wrong. But it's very easy to be carried away by markets and by what's the word that I'm looking for? By the false optimism, basically. No, it's gonna turn. It's
Irrational
okay.
exuberance.
Yes, exactly. Hopium. That's good. Good. Um, yeah.
so
So
what do you
I'm
think of the dollar up here still?
well. The momentum is still good. Um, it's a very good question.
That's
We've
okay.
we've broken out of. Actually, let me take the chart for a minute. Okay, is that
Oh
okay?
yeah, go ahead. I know it's actually above that major channel line. Is it above yours
Yes.
too, Blake?
What's
That
that? Oh,
channel.
yes, it is. It is
Yeah,
above that trend line, at least
yeah,
today. I mean,
yeah,
but there's still a lot of time left in the
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's the
we're
one.
there. We go. We've broken up.
Yeah,
So it's still looking strong, and the market seems to be in complete euphoria over what Trump's going to deliver.
yeah,
Of course, remains to be seen. I mean, the big question is still the main problem with the US and with every other country is still debt. And we're going to pass 36 trillion. How many trillion is it now? I think we're any day now we're going to pass the next trillion in the US. But of course, you can't trade this on a daily basis, right? This is not something you can trade off. This is more of a macro theme. But the thing is that the problem is still debt. So we wait to see if Trump is going to do what he said he's going to do, which is bring in Elon Musk, who said that he's going to be reducing government expenditure by 2 trillion or so. It's very difficult to do, but you never know. If that changes, if they do that, then my whole philosophy on how I trade the markets in terms of medium to long term will change. But for now, nothing has changed. But going back to the charts, the dollar's broken. Um, Yields are also trying to break out above this kind of zone here. I still think that the next big move in yields is lower, and I know I'm the minority. Everybody's saying, "Oh, higher for longer, inflation is going to be high." Well, the problem is that companies left and right are laying off people. Um, Unemployment is still not rising on the official government statistics, but there is a change of momentum in that. So I think that's going to be happening, and especially if they lay off a few 100,000 government employees or however many it is, this is not going to be good for the market. So I think that yields are going to edge lower, are going to go lower, and I really still think that we're going to be testing these 360 lows and potentially breaking below in the 10-year in the US. But one step at a time at the moment, dollar and yields both going higher. Equities also, as far as I'm concerned, nothing bearish about it. And every time I've been coming on this webinar for the past months, there is just nothing bearish about this. Every dip gets bought, and especially now, if we do see yields going lower, I mean, how are equities going to go lower as well? So if you put a gun to my head, I still buy everything. I still buy the S&P. I buy gold. I buy cryptos. I buy everything. And I know last time I said I buy cryptos, you laughed, Blake, because I've never said that. But uh, this is uh, this is the way things are going still. When I start seeing technical evidence that we are really turning, then I'm going to consider entries for shorts, etc. And I don't mind if I lose, the first 10% of the move, 5 to 10%. I don't mind. I want to see technical confirmation and then I try to get onto the move. But for now, I see absolutely nothing telling me that we're going lower in equities. Um, you talked about silver. Well, I mean, metals are looking, they are correcting, of course, because well, one of the primary reasons, apart from yields and the dollar going higher, is that Trump is theoretically going to be the catalyst for resolving or for the resolving of
Everything.
geopolitical situations. Exactly, Dale. One day after his election, the Houthis are saying we're falling back, and Iran are saying, oh, we're no longer looking to make nuclear weapons and whatever else they're going to be doing. So, what's happening? I don't know, but gold is definitely dropping because the markets are anticipating that uncertainty is going to be removed. Where do I look to get long? I think the continuation of this channel, so or around these levels here, around 2.5, 2004, 480, 2.520 seems to be. It was a nice little consolidation area before next move higher. So that's not a bad place, I think, for gold. Silver is going very quickly. Good question. Probably in the mid 29s is probably the first area I'm going to be looking at. But again, I want to see price action. If momentum continues like this, I'm not touching it. There's a good chance we might even try to probe 27, which is, 12% from here or whatever that is. So 10% from here. So that's possible. I really wish we go there because that's going to give us a really nice entry point. But I'm going to be taking my time. I will be putting my updates on the chat room and my views. So I am sitting tight for now.
Okay. All right. I like that moving average. I like it around 28.
Yes.
Grega thinks the whole thing is over
For what? For metals?
for silver.
Well, over
He
what?
thinks we can, well, it's on the site.
Hmm.
Or I saw it on LinkedIn, one or
I'm
the
going
other.
to I'm going to check it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 5 up there, and that's it. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
don't think so either. I think the move will resume higher, but how low can we go first? That's a very good question.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 28.
Yeah, 27, 28 is possible.
Yeah. Right, and then maybe, yeah. Anyway, great trading, Stel. You
Thank you,
are
bro.
a
Thank you.
trader. And once you're a trader, I tweeted this out. You have checked in to the Hotel California and you can check out, but you can never leave. And I know it. I know because I tried a few times. Okay. So, once when I was real young and struggling as a broker in LA, um, I needed a car, so I went to work on a car lot. Okay. But I wasn't a good car salesman because every demo ride, I would talk about the gold market. And I was trying to open commodity accounts instead of focusing on selling the car. So, I probably scared the hell out of all these people. So I wasn't a good car salesman anyway. But remember this, guys, and it's if you're in any kind of sales, B-backs aren't greenbacks. Okay? Remember that. Anyway, how you doing, Ryan?
I'm
Are
doing
you a
fine, sir. How are you doing?
are you a B-back?
Am I what?
You'll be back.
A beanbag?
No, be back. Be back.
Oh, I
So
look like a beanbag sometimes.
as your view, you still looking to buy USDCAD?
Yeah, everyone's waiting for a dip that isn't coming.
Okay.
We've had another little go just above at 139, 50, 60 level. If it had held 50, we could have been off to the races, but now we haven't. We're trading back down again. So everyone's waiting for a decent dip. It ain't coming, and we still got 140 in the crosshairs.
I just can't buy the dollar here. I couldn't
Yeah,
short
it's tough.
euro
It's
here.
tough to chase it, isn't it?
I couldn't short cable here.
We can't see your screen, by the way. I don't know if you've taken it back
Oh,
yet from
oh,
Stel.
oh,
Yeah, you have
I
to take
have.
it back.
Oh,
unless he's broken it.
Do you want me to take it, Dale, while you're asking?
Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
just go ahead.
I'll take it while you're talking with Ryan. So go ahead and continue to quiz him.
Okay.
Quiz me, Dale.
Here's your
Quiz him. Quiz.
Starter for 10.
All right. Huh?
Starter for 10.
Okay. So what do we do with the dollar here? And any news on yen?
No,
US
no news.
No news. Okay.
Nothing coming from those guys. Technically, it's playing a bit nicer with the levels. We had this 153.40. I think you highlighted it as well, that we couldn't get back above it. Then we've got back above it. We're holding it as support, which is giving it a bit of a springboard up into 154. This is a bit like dollar CAD as well, where everyone's waiting for what we do at 155. That's the big level up there.
Right.
And but it's not changing trend just yet. So every chance that it keeps on going, and we finally get a move on that 155 level.
You know, I was thinking if the market is holding up so well with this strong dollar, that if the dollar came off, maybe that would fuel the melt up. If yields came off and the dollar came off, eases financial conditions a little bit, maybe that is like jet fuel for this melt up for another 5% or so. What do you think?
Yeah, it's possible, but yields have already shot up a good chunk. We've got 2-year yields, trading back today, and they're gone to fresh highs for the month, and I'm still feeling like this is going against where the Fed are going, but I'm not going to stand in the way just yet. 10 years is holding back a little bit, so we are seeing a bit of difference along the curve. They're not back at highs yet, so I think that's probably your biggest key for longer term moves. If the dollar's going to kick on, it's going to need those yields probably taking out those 450 and motoring on. If it doesn't, then maybe we see the brakes put on, and it might be we're already seeing a bit of that at the moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking we could pull back to 4% eventually. I don't know if the 10-year is going to make another high. This could be a failing rally in the 10-year too.
Yeah.
We had that break last week. There's the notes.
I mean, we completed that flag pattern, and we're sitting on rising trend line support. It's hard to be short. I mean, I understand the arguments of being short the bond market right now, but at the same time, after this big of a move, it's hard to chase it down here. Don't you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to chase anything at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and Dale, I want to jump
probably
in really
more
quick.
of a buy with a stop underneath your channel.
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from a trader's point of view, that's the risk reward. The risk reward is, you take it long down here, but do you really want to do that? And or does anybody really want to take on that risk? I don't know. But I want to ask Ryan this. We did have UK jobs data last night, and the jobs data looked decent.
Did it? You looked at
did I have that incorrect?
Unemployment rose to 4.3%. That was the negative.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I was actually looking at the claimant count and the average hourly earnings, which both. Well, that's not good.
No, well, the claimant count. I know it says it. I know it's got it in green because it was higher, but the claimant count is actually a negative number. It means more people claiming unemployment benefits or those claims. So the higher it is, it's negative. So even though it's green, it's not a positive number.
But it was better than expectations that were at 30,000 is what.
Somewhat.
But it's still an increase from last month.
It's still an increase.
Yeah.
Wages were a bit sticky. Bonus and you can see there, those are the including bonus numbers was a bit stickier. Excluding bonuses, they came down a little bit. So it's sticky for the Bank of England. But no, cable got a knock on that data down to the figure. Helped it on its way down to the 128 level. We had a little look underneath it. I managed to lose money buying off the 128 there. Just a little scalp. I should have gone with euro sterling, which is doing technically very well, holding that 83 handle at the moment.
Do you think the euro sterling's doing well? I mean, we're basically, no, we're not even back at 83 pence. We're just I mean, the breakdown point was, yesterday we got below that, and we've been holding below it. So it's still
yeah, I mean, it's doing well technically, holding below the 83 level.
Oh, okay,
that's the level it had to hold. If you go into a shorter time frame, like a 15-minute, you'll see we had a test yesterday that held, dipped to the lows, and it came right back up and hit it again and came down since. So yeah, it's technically it's doing what it should do when you want to see a break.
Yeah. Okay. So that should favor sterling over a lot of different currencies. But it's right now, I mean, sterling's just it's not acting super great this morning. But at the same time, you guys were talking about the dollar, and Steve is here, by the way. I'm going to bring him in just a second. The dollar index today, and I had to remind everybody in the chat room, like, here's the ForexAnalytix chat room. I'll show you what chart I posted regarding the dollar, and I'm like, it's early. I think Stelios brought this one up too. We're above that trend line, but it's, like I said, it's early in the day. I mean, this could end up being a false breakout by the end of the day. It does look strong at the moment, but at the same time, if you look at the euro, which has been really driving this dollar move, the euro has been, it's now down at a longer term. By the way, we've been down here before. It's a longer term 38% retracement. That's from the September 22 lows to the highs up here. We're at the 38% retracement of this entire move right here. We are at the 161% extension of the post-election move. We basically got there. We're at a lot of horizontal support. So, the euro could very easily stage a bit of a recovery here. I'm not sure it will, but I think that's the one that you need to watch pretty carefully. So before I ask Steve this, Ryan, how do you feel about the dollar overall? Do you think it's too strong, or do you think it should weaken from here? What are your thoughts?
Well, what it should do is different questions of what it will do. It's, a lot of pairs like euro dollar are hitting, decent levels. If we get through 106, then obviously the dollar strength is going to continue, and we're going to be looking at 105. Dollar China's taken off again this morning, so there's no end to this dollar strength right now, and all the holds we've got at the moment, like dollar CAD up at the highs, cable at the lows, etc. They could all be temporary or otherwise. We won't know until we either get further tests of those levels, or we see it move away. But dollar China off to the races again. Even after our highs, it's still going, and I'm going to start getting in some shorts. I think up at 728.
Let's see for those of you that trade it, 731 maybe to 732, so maybe just above this high would actually complete the inverted head and shoulder pattern. So Ryan, if you want to short it, maybe let it extend just beyond the neckline here, just enough to stop everybody out. You know how it is. Get everybody long, and then it craps the bed, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll probably short it from 728 up to the prior highs, 736 for near 37. So I'm going to go for a little bit of a build position, just some small bits up to there. I'm not going to go too big, because if this is the start of a monster dollar trend higher, I don't want to be putting too much risk on the table.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your thoughts there. Let's talk to Steve. Steve, how are you?
Hey, mate. I'm good.
Hey.
How have you been?
Good. Well, as good as I could be at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. Not bad. Let me ask you this about the dollar. The dollar has been obviously following the Trump trade and the just aftermath of the election. The dollar's just been on fire. What's your longer term view of the dollar, especially being
I have let me make it simple for you. I have no long-term view for the dollar anymore. And the reason I have no long-term view for the dollar is because at the moment we are at an important juncture which makes it impossible to have an opinion about it. Because the fate of the dollar is going to be judged upon Trump's policies. Now, if we wanted to believe Trump as a politician, let's say, and we wanted to believe that he's going to fulfill his plans, that should be bullish, the dollar, right? But as you know, with every politician and every political promise, that's a huge if, right?
Right. And so you
So
think
are you strongly neutral here?
No, I'm yes, at the moment, I'm not going to remain like that. I want to see how I want to see how it's going to start. You know what I mean?
This is strong. That's a position too, being neutral.
No, absolutely, it is.
Yeah,
And
nothing wrong with
temporarily,
it.
yes, that's exactly what I am.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
you know what
I
am? Go ahead. Go ahead, Blake.
No. Go ahead, Dale. Go ahead. Continue.
Turnaround Tuesday. That's where I'm at. It's Turnaround Tuesday. So try and just focus on today.
Well, okay. So today, being it is Tuesday, I'm going to take you over to the news and research room in ForexAnalytix, and
What a segue!
I want to pull up the DSI.
What a
volatility. Team. The VIX is at 10.
Yeah, we're like Huntley and Brinkley. Okay, all right.
VIX has been at 10 for the last 3 days.
The VIX futures looks good. Like it's grinding out something. The VIX futures, not the VIX itself, because the VIX had a huge gap, but the futures traded down there. And this is something else Katie said she was going to watch a lot. I don't know if you stuck around for the whole interview. She thinks this is almost like a gift to be able to buy vol down here because she's looking for a higher vol regime. She doesn't think that changed.
Wow.
Just temporarily. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
anyway,
I mean, this would be a perfect gap fill for those of you that are gap
gap
believers.
Maybe it leaves an island. It gaps up one day and leaves an island. It does I've seen that too, where you gap down, you put a few days together, it gaps up, and then you have Gilligan and the skipper and Ginger and Marianne right there, all four of them on the island.
Now you're talking a little crazy, Dale. And this is what happens when you get stuck in a bull market for 12 years straight.
For a long period of time.
Or do this for 40 years.
Yeah, there you go. That's
hold on. 40.
So
50 years.
50 years. All right. Well, Steve, you were wanted to finish your thoughts about the dollar and policymakers and Trump policies, put it that way. How do you feel about, the Trump administration wanting to engineer a weaker dollar, but still try to implement, some tariffs? How difficult is it going to be, and do they need to do that just to help with the our rising debt to GDP?
It's impossible to do what they claim they want to do and at the same time engineer a weaker dollar. One of the two can happen, not both at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
So which way are they
and then
lean?
focusing more on the more important element, which is that
tariffs,
reducing deficits.
Oh, okay.
Right. They supposedly they want to have a hawkish fiscal policy, cut down deficits. You cannot be cutting down deficits and at the same time engineer a weak dollar. Right. It's impossible. Because if indeed you put deficits in check, that will definitely strengthen the dollar. Right.
Are you talking austerity?
If you tell them that they're talking about austerity, they're going to deny it, aggressively, right? They're going to tell you that we don't want to cut spending that stimulates growth. we want to cut extra fat. And to be frank, there is no way that there isn't a huge amount of fat, not only in the US government, in every government around the globe, right? Now, will they do it? I don't find it that easy to believe. Why don't I find it that easy to believe? There is a simple reason. Because it's easy to say that I want to do it. It's easy to locate then the sources from which you're going to be doing it. But once you need to actually start doing it, phone calls are going to start, right? Like, please don't cut this because my voters depend on that. Please don't cut that because, my donor wants that type of spending, blah, 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 blah. So, they claim they want to do it. I hope they will do it. But until I actually see it start happening, I take it with a pinch of salt.
You're like from Missouri. You got to show Steve. Doubting Steve.
Hey, Dale, before we turn it over to you and Tracy. And Tracy, good morning. Good to see you. And glad you're here. Thanks for being here, Trace.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Trace.
Hey, all right. Before we bring Tracy in, let me ask Ryan this, and I'm gonna just real quick trade idea for today. What are you looking at today, Ryan?
I'm going to keep an eye on this dollar CAD, see what it's going to do, whether we get back up to this 140 at some point, give it a go. Otherwise, just keep an eye on the euro dollar down at this 106 figure as well. See if he wants to continue that move.
All right, and just so everybody can see this, we're struggling. This is the 2022 highs back over here, which comes in above where we're at. It comes in about 10 pips above where we hit today. So yeah, you can see the buyers are getting a little nervous up there. So thank you, Ryan. Steve, anything in particular that you're keeping an eye on for today?
Gold is breaking down. I said it since yesterday, and in my opinion, that's probably one of the biggest developments at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm with you on gold because we're sitting at the 618 retracement. Just so you all know, if you're following the patterns in play, I did adjust the target to 2540, this is from a week ago or whatever, from the 2700 level.
Nice.
Yeah, it should. I'm looking just for channel support. Now, if we get down there and it's accompanied by the dollar, I'll adjust that level a little bit lower. I haven't moved the stops
like that
yet.
moving average is where it's going to go to, the 200-day.
That's 2400. So that would be something. And again, well, anyway, I don't want to take any more from Tracy, but I agree with Ryan. I actually had some bids in on the euro at below 106. I thought maybe the stops below 106 would get taken. But it looks like this horizontal support's going to hold. I am a seller of rallies, but I'd like to see it rally back to 106.80 before being on the short side again. I just closed out my shorts. If you're in the ForexAnalytix trades room, you can see how I just closed out my shorts for 40 this morning. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the euro. And I just I was short for the last couple of days, and I'm just now looking to play it short on any rally. So that's it. Anyway, Dale, I'm gonna pass it over to you and Tracy. Tracy, so nice to have you here. Enjoy your time with Dale, or actually, let me rephrase that. Dale, enjoy your time with Tracy. How about that?
Okay, we'll both enjoy it.
I always love our time with Dale every morning. So anyway, hey traders, have a great day. Make sure you check out ForexAnalytix. It's only $1 for 10 days. We took away our special for the election week, so you can now take your trial again. $1 for 10 days. Be inside of our chat rooms. So it's very easy to do. We'll see you there.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dream Team. Welcome back, Tracy. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Lots has happened since we last spoke. So
yeah, and it will keep on happening, won't it? So I want to ask you, are you still after the red wave in inflationista?
So yes, even more so. But I think really where we should start here is kind of what I think that we're going to see as far as a shift, as far as the market is concerned. I think, we've been seeing outflows in NASDAQ, and, a lot of that has to do with semiconductors. I think tariffs are kind of spooking that market. And I think we're going to see is inflows into energy, industrials, mining, and materials, and continue to see some of those outflows out of tech. So that's where, I would like to start.
All right. So, okay, that's fine. So, the NASDAQ, I still think it has more left in it, don't you? Or do you think that we're topping right here?
I don't really trade the NASDAQ. I mean, I mostly look at the internals. For the last couple of days, we've seen, outflows out of some of the biggest ones in the sector: NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, AMD. And so just continue to watch that. That doesn't mean that the index as a whole can't move higher. I'm just watching kind of the internals of what people are kind of doing right now.
Yeah, there's a nice divergence in the video right here. I was thinking 6,100 S&Ps. All right, so talking about it, last time I brought up nat gas to you, and I've been pounding the table there. That's one heck of a gap it left yesterday. And you were, I think, positive on LNG stocks.
I am still positive on LNG and natural gas. Where I think the trade is for this particular sector is going to be the midstream. So that's transportation and storage, things like pipelines, storage, etc. So I think those are going to outperform as far as LNG.
You have a name?
And
you have a symbol?
I like EQT. I like, which has been rallying since the election.
Yeah, see, in fact, I have it up here. You're not the first one to bring it up. So
right, KMI, I think will do well.
Here's EQT. Look at that.
Yep.
What's not to like? It looks like Bitcoin.
I've been kind of pounding on the table on midstream sector since before the election, actually. But now it's even more so because, we just had the EU von der Leyen just come in and say, maybe we'll just buy LNG from the United States instead of Russia all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, again, I think, KMI just built a pipeline from the Permian to the Gulf, which is much needed because there are a lot of natural gas, like Waha natural gas, which is not what people trade. People are trading Henry Hub, but which was trading negative because it had nowhere to go. And so they're trying to build out pipelines now to get them to the coast so they can
and that's KMI, Trace?
Kinder Morgan.
Kinder Morgan. Okay. So pipelines. So
that one's doing well.
They're becoming parabolic.
So absolutely. I don't know if I would chase at these areas, but certainly if we see a pullback, I would be a buyer on pullbacks.
All right. So let's move over to miners. So best of breed got killed. So what are you looking at as far as miners? Is it copper miners? Is it gold, silver miners?
I still like silver miners. I think this is a great area to get a pullback on. We've seen prices kind of pull back. Silver is kind of holding up better than gold because it's really more of an industrial metal, right, rather than a precious metal. So I think if we can hold this 30 area, you're still going to have miners do very well. And earlier this year we saw a nice rise in those. So pullback is welcome. In addition, I think everybody looks at, I think silver was also kind of spooked because of the Trump administration or coming up administration is obviously I don't want to say anti-green, but anti-green.
Oh.
So, and I think that it got spooked. Silver got spooked a little bit because of all the
Uses in green.
industrial usage for solar and
Yeah.
for wind turbines. That said, I think what people are missing here is that silver is also used in nuclear, and this administration is very pro-nuclear. And so I think that the markets need to kind of digest that. In addition, even if we see a pullback in the United States as far as solar and wind is concerned, you're definitely not going to see that in Europe. So you're still going to have demand there, and you're still going to have China demand. So, US isn't that big of a market, to be honest, in those areas.
You have a view on the dollar, the persistent strength that's happening here, along with the move that we had in yields. You used to track dollar. Do you still? Is it part of
Yeah, I
your
mean, I
wheelhouse?
still watch out. I mean, I think again, we're kind of getting, I think if we start to see like 110 again, I think that's where you'll probably see Yellen do something about it, because it'll be too strong.
Yellen?
Yes, the Treasury, the current
Oh,
Treasury.
okay. So you think we could be at 110 before the new president?
Well, I'm just saying if it gets there. I don't want to make any calls as far as the dollar is concerned. I mean, the chart still looks mega bullish, but at some point, I think the Treasury Secretary will have to step in and
Yeah, probably be the next one.
chill it out.
And how do they do that? I mean, really, how does the Treasury just jawboning it, saying they want a lower dollar? Is that going to give them a lower dollar?
Do that. You can do with bonds, with swaps. There's a lot of levers that they can pull.
Can they? Maybe it'll take intervention.
So, well, they could do that, but I don't think they would admit that they're doing that.
Okay. All right. So that's a new era. And there's not going to be cooperation between central banks then. How about some of the ancillary metals? You like platinum and palladium? They've come off quite a bit. Here's palladium.
Yeah, I mean, I love buying, platinum below 1,000. You can buy
You
it
got it.
below 1,000, runs up 50 to $75, and then goes back to 1,000. I mean, look at the pattern. It's pretty consistent pattern. So, I like buying anything under 1,000 and, writing it for it. That's one of the ones that
Why 1,000? Is that production costs?
Day trade as far as what? Sorry,
is $1,000. Do you like buying it under 1,000? Is that because 1,000 is production costs, or just?
No, it's just because of this is literally just a technical trade.
Okay. All right. How about copper? That's not a technical trade.
No, copper is still, I still love copper too. We're still holding above $4.
Yeah.
I think long term, I still like that. Again, I would probably, I think trying to trade copper outright is rather difficult, unless you're maybe a day trader, just because of kind of how it reacts. But, I think some of the major producers look very interesting still.
Okay. How about Florida real estate? Are you noticing any softening? I've talked to like Melody Wright about it, and she's pretty negative on housing going into the coming year.
Definitely, we have seen prices come down in Fort Lauderdale. I can only speak to where I live, but definitely we have seen prices come down. That said, rents have not budged and keep being higher because nobody's buying, everybody's renting. So the rental market here seems very strong still, but we are seeing softening in the housing market.
Okay, that's interesting. That there was actually a hurricane in 1923 that marked the top of Florida real estate, and maybe it rhymes with this hurricane season.
Yeah, true. We, knock on wood, luckily we're spared. on both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously not everybody was.
Okay. So, natural gas, pipelines, this is a break to buy in precious metals, probably especially silver, as long as it holds 30. So, you know, you have a line in the sand. Um, this is what I wanted to ask you about, Trace, because, you know, I tried crude like everyone else, thinking that, you know, when Israel went in, they were going to hit Carg Island. That's probably, you know, in January or maybe sooner. I think they will. But I was wondering, can you come up with a fundamental narrative that matches with my technical narrative in um, crude, which I'm looking for, you know, the low 60s. I've had this line drawn for, I don't know, a year. All right.
Yeah,
And
I think that, you know, I think as far as oil is concerned, I think this is going to be a sideways market, and it's been a sideways market, and which has been very frustrating to traders. I understand that, but it's been at a big enough range that if you know, semi swing it, you know, you can grab some dollars here and there for sure. But really a fundamental reason why I don't see it holding below, say, 60 is because shale break evens are at $65. So if you hold below 60 for any length of time, you're going to see production come off massively.
okay. So this could be a great spot if it got down there. You're saying
I
62.
think, yeah, it's around, you know, I have anywhere from like 60 to 63. I would
Yeah.
take stabs at longs there.
Okay. All right. Cool. I knew you'd come up with something. Um, anything else? I think we've covered the board pretty much.
Yeah,
Do you
again,
like?
you know, watch industrials, mining, and materials, I think will do very well. I also think utilities will continue to do well because of AI
Okay.
data centers. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback there, but I still like that sector very much going forward.
And isn't that really a part of the nat gas story? That it's going to
Well,
be
it's
more.
nat gas. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nat gas, nuclear. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just power in general. So
Yeah. So what's easier or more accessible? Obviously, is it natural gas and you know, nuclear? It's easier.
yeah,
It's ready to go.
it's ready to go, and you can build out facilities rather quickly, and so that's the plus
Compared
for natural
compared
gas
to a
compared
yeah.
to
Compared
nuclear
to
reactor. Either you have to, you know, restart one like 3 Mile Island that they've been
yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
or you have to build one, which takes permitting and
Yeah.
building time, which, you know, can be very lengthy process, up to 10 years. That said, you know, this new administration coming in is talking about deregulation. So what I'm hoping is that we see some deregulation as far as the bureaucratic red tape is in kind of permitting for some of these projects, in particular nuclear and also domestic mining.
Okay. You know, Trace, people say, oh, gaps are always filled. Don't count on this one being filled. I don't know if I would count on this one being filled. It's got a little hang day. It's the only gap I saw on the weekly chart going back years. So um, if it doesn't hold, get out of the way.
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't think I would buy it. But see, you look all the way back in that gas, not too many gaps. This was a pretty good gap higher opening. We'll see
I
if
mean,
it
it's been
holds.
consolidating for
Yeah,
2 years now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll see.
right.
You know, I don't see a price, any reason for a price rip, right?
Yeah,
But I definitely can see where we see, you know, perhaps
four.
$3-4 and it
Yeah,
holding there,
yeah.
which is still way less expensive than it is in Europe. And so even with the cost of transportation, US LNG still looks very attractive.
Okay. And best place to find you, Trace. I know that you're with Damp Spring, that you're writing for them. I know you also have a few other places people could keep tabs on your thoughts.
Yep. Well, Shy Girl and on Twitter, obviously, or
Right,
X, sorry.
right.
That's my only social media site. Then of course the Mic Drop Markets every Wednesday. And that's about it. Damped Spring, and then Hill Tower Resource Advisors.
Okay,
That's
so
what-
LNG shipping, yes, I'm just looking at what some of drill
Yeah, like
baby drill. Yeah.
transports, like look for storage and pipelines. Again, like I said, I wouldn't chase it
Yeah.
at these areas right now after we've seen this big move, but I think it's certainly
It'd be nice to have
viable on pullbacks.
be nice to have at least some type of correction in the S&Ps from 6,100 and see
Yeah,
what gets cheap. Just have your shopping list like those stocks and do your
That's
fib work and buy your retracement.
exactly. That's exactly what I was
Okay, well, that's from
looking
the
for.
coach. All right.
So
All right. Trace, great hanging out with you for a little while. Anything you want to wrap it with, like the most important lesson you've learned in life?
patience. Have
Oh,
patience.
oh my. Yeah, and you've learned it or working on it?
Always working on it.
Yeah, I hear you, sister. All right. All right. Tracy Schuchart, everybody. Follow her at Shy Girl. And, I have some followers that just brag about some of the great picks you made in LNG and everything. So ignore what Tracy says at your own peril and opportunity loss, in my view. So thank you. Thank you, my trading warrior sister.
Thank you. See you guys next time. Have a great
Uh,
rest of your day, everybody.
All right. Have a great fourth quarter, and I'll see you next year. We should be kind of a different world
I know,
when we
absolutely.
talk.
So it'll be interesting to look back at what we talked about today,
Yeah.
how
All
that
right.
worked out.
Yeah. All right, Tracy. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm a fan. You should be a fan too. Check her out. And that's a wrap. You could join the team in about 20 minutes on the Morning Edge. You have to be a member to do that. And remember, most of all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Let's see what's Canada doing. And, maybe I should take some partials. Yeah, it's unchanged now. So a decent turnaround Tuesday trade, even if you booked it here while we were on the air, you made enough to go to McDonald's. Okay. I'm looking for this. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. People are thanking you, Tracy.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
all right, and George, okay, you're welcome, guys. All right, see everyone tomorrow. Thanks again, Tracy. Adios. See you guys. You're welcome, Hugo.